Back in Guate again. Here we are.
We went from Guatemala to Pana, down to Chichi, back to Guatemala, to Honduras, to
Yeah, see, we
Roatan,
brought that cab driver with us everywhere
back to
we
Guatemala
went.
again.
No, somehow I think went dead and
Oh,
clicked.
and in the Camino with, let's see, those are ginger flowers.
And the med school down in
I'm
Guatemala.
thinking about going to med school here, maybe, for Bud.
More beautiful plants.
I met with the dean of the university for an hour and a half.
Mayan
And inside
artifacts.
was a picture of Tikal, which is the ancient Mayan city in the
This
Payten.
is at the museum.
So it was pretty interesting.
More Mayan artifacts.
Figurines
Yeah, like
from
these little
the
shroom head guys.
Mayans.
Oh, they're there. Oh, I am the powerful shroom head.
We went to lots of Mayan ruins, or we went to some, and
Mickey Mouse heads.
Buddha came here too.
That one still has some of the original painting on it. All of them once had painting on them,
Bad
but
umbrella stands.
they wore off. And now
Thank
it
you.
looks just like different color clays.
That's what I want to be buried in. One of those right there. Skulls and whatnot.
Stone masks. Guatemala City, where I used to live at the Maya Excelsior for many years. It rained almost continuously while we were in Guatemala. It was the rainy season in the summer.
This is the palace, Guatemala City, Zone 1, the presidential palace.
this is inside the palace.
It's amazing how much money they could spend in this poor country. Having chandeliers and leaded glass, stained glass, mahogany panels.
A monument to peace and the signing of the accord with the guerrilla forces in 1996.
This is Don Raul on the left. He was our taxi driver, and he took us around showing us Guatemala. There's Don in front of the Camino Real again,
Multicolored buses that you see in Guatemala City.
going to get coconuts. There's the coconuts.
Wonder how many calories that one
Chopping
has.
them up fresh for us. I'm very excited about this. As you can see, it's nice and rainy, so there's
Notice
tarps all
Throughout this
never
vacation,
remember
we
it
didn't care
raining
how
so much
sterile
when we
anything
lived
was, obviously.
And
this is
Jenny
my
eating a
special.
Jenny.
They made it just for me, created it just for me. Guacamole, cheese, beans, and chips. The
I
best.
remember that meal twice.
Ooh, there's me with my hair braided and the very cool waiter who gave us the cute little jar. That's Mom's favorite.
And these are colored calla lilies in the... Oh, there's Margarita Palacios with me. Margarita and I taught school together.
Another map of Guatemala. In Pana, we were looking over the lake at the volcanoes. Here's some more volcanoes.
And they still sell all these multicolored telas.
Guatemalan ladies quilting. In the back, there was a quilt that we actually got for one of our friends. Little girls trying to sell stuff. Notice, the difference in height, how she's balancing everything on her head. It's a very different culture.
Probably Jenny's age, but about half the size. The huipiles are the telas that the women wear.
Jenny, of course, is much
That
larger than
woman's
the
selling
mother.
huipiles. Different ones, depending on where they're
But
from.
everybody has their native dress, and the colors will be the same in the areas. You can almost relate it to sort of American street gangs, and they all have the same patterns for what they wear.
A little girl on the street in Pana.
Pretty cobblestone streets in Lake Atitlan,
More of the
or
markets.
Panajachel.
Some of the local hoodlums.
Oh, getting puka shells. Oh, they have these crazy animal dressed up people in the streets. Oh, here we are in Chichi. These are the people on the stairs of the church. Crazy chickens being held on the lady's head in the green basket. Others on the stairs.
Burning incense. A strange atmosphere in the market there.
Oh, inside church.
Photos weren't allowed in the church.
It's built on top of a Mayan temple. There's a ghost in the window. You can see it.
Okay, I see the ghost in there. We thought it was sort of mystical.
We got hongos and tomates in the basket.
Things people are selling.
They said they were
Beautiful
for soups,
flowers.
for special healing powers.
Grow nicely in the climate there. There's the
That's
vegetable
what I
market.
remember Guatemala, all the different
Oh,
colors
everything
of
smelled so different. And
the people, the marketplace,
incense.
the fruits, the vegetables.
The incense there. They have like their own signature flavor everywhere. And you can smell it no matter where you go. You can smell all the fruits and vegetables. And
We're standing up above the balcony looking down.
People looked poverty-stricken and somewhat tuberculous.
there's somebody on the stairs again. A graveyard.
And we see the cemetery, the multicolored cemetery.
A little bit more colorful than
There it
ours.
is again.
Sort of reminds you of Disneyland.
With the Mayan garb.
Man playing marimba in a garden. The birds on the top, left and right hand corners.
This is not really a jungle city. This is a highland
Frizzy
Indian city.
hair.
And there we have the bro and Jen and me all in the courtyard looking at the macaws.
It's the kind of bird I
Two
used
parrots.
to have.
Blue Amazon parrots with a little blue on their
A
forehead.
stand on the side of a road.
Next we go to the ancient original capital of Antigua, where there's some 38 antique churches.
The Agua volcano.
A Catholic chapel, a church.
It's a seal of San Carlos, which is the university I attended when the Pope chartered them as the first university in the New World.
Domino's in Antigua, Guatemala.
I think we all got sick
There's another
from that,
meal
however.
that we remember twice. None of us felt well after that one.
Church. Oh, there's our Hotel Convent, the wonderful hotel we stayed in Antigua. Used to be a convent.
Because there seemed to be an alcove for a chapel down at one end and a room behind the chapel where we think the bathtub was the original baptismal font.
I'd say that was certainly one of the more special hotels.
Bells from the church rang every 15 minutes. It was
Still
based
raining.
on courtyards, and at night all the lights were out and only the
With a bird
candles
of
burned all
paradise
through the
open.
courtyards. It's quite beautiful.
Oh, this is their devil worship, the Mayan devil worship.
The God of
Moximone.
Vice
He is
offering
offered
cigars and liquor.
and alcohol, but they decided to drink it, smoke it all for him.
And I don't think that this particular form of worship is widely talked about.
And he was just so amused that they had a shrine to the God of Vice.
And there's candles, flowers, decorations of all sorts. This was a shrine to Moximone.
And the birds kissing again. Our driver at the Camino Real. We must be back in Guatemala City at the McDonald's. Where else?
McDonald's in Guatemala City. This was in a
The
mall.
food isn't exactly like it is here.
Fast food.
But it does pretty well. That's a
Hibiscus
white
flowers.
hibiscus with a red center. Looks like we're moving
And
into
on to
Honduras
Honduras.
after a lengthy bus ride.
One of the principal reasons for going was to see the Mayan ruins of Copan.
There's Santa Rosa.
Mayan ruin from about 700 AD in the jungle in Copan. The ruins aren't as tall as they are in Tikal. They're more rounded and smaller, but they have a lot of stelae telling the history of all of the rulers of the place. And that grayish green is so much the color that you always see in everything in the Mayan ruins.
It was
You
really
see the ball
wet. It was
court,
really
the
humid,
ball
pretty
court.
hot.
The winners of the ball court killed their opponents,
The vegetation just grows all over everything.
so they played to their death. Some of the stelae. And natively the birds of the jungle there. And the beetles in the jungle. And everything is wet with mushrooms and fungus growing off the trees. You oftentimes see orchids. That looks like breadfruit to me. And more birds of paradise. Really unusual ones, like they would have about 10 buds on them. These are some of the stelae being protected, telling the histories of the kings of the place. There's the most significant part of the two leaders, the early Mayan leader and that one stela goes in the round, or it's a large square telling the whole history of what happened at Copan. There's some of the round stelae.
I don't know if we get the pictures of where there's the guys like taking out the ruins, but they appear to be making them. I find it ironic that my mom is so small compared to that, and all the people are half her size.
You can see how large they are with me next to it. All out of that same rock and gray-greenish.
There were monkey heads and people with their tongues sticking out. It was all quite interesting. Ricardo is
here's
here.
Ricardo.
And we're finally seeing him.
Stayed with Ricardo for a while. Those were two girls I found.
These were some girls
they
that
were
Dawn
cool.
just had to meet.
And here's a few of the piña.
Pineapples fresh on the street.
And going to Ricardo's house. This is where Don spent the month of July 2003, living with Ricardo and his family, dating senoritas, and we hope learning Spanish. He had to learn enough Spanish to get himself back to Guatemala.
Here in his studio.
And there's Ricardo, rolling the roost in his studio. I think he's got enough computer screens
Lucy,
there.
Dawn,
Lucia. She was
Mom,
like my little
and
sister
me.
when I was gone.
Ricardo in his studio again. All of his fun equipment.
See, it looks just like Don's studio.
The computers
Rackles.
there.
Computers.
Guess that's become pretty worldwide.
Even in
I
Honduras.
remember a lot of time they were playing IGA.
Ricardo and his wife, Sylvia, at the Rotary meeting, and it was an award ceremony.
And there's Ricardo's son and kind of like nephew. Good
Pablo
family friend.
being held by Dawn with just his arms. Oh, now we're in, this is Santa Rosa, where Ricardo lives.
Pictures of the city.
And this is in a hotel there. They had turtles all crawling around.
And Don, who's oftentimes tired.
Oh, turtles!
And Jenny playing with a tortuga.
Aw, they're so
And
cute.
they had all these little turtles hanging around the courtyard of this hotel.
They smelled pretty funny. Crawled around the courtyards. There are about 8 of them. Oh, excuse me, the hospital.
I wound up going with somebody from this hotel, and none of them were straight. Partially, I'd say it was probably because it was in Spanish, and I didn't exactly understand everything that was said.
Pizza.
Now we're at Pizza with Warren.
Ricardo and his
There's
friend
Warren.
Hit a googly eye.
in Sylvia's factory. And she makes bottle caps for water jugs. Here she is in her factory. And this is her little hardware store.
She also makes construction materials for homes.
Here she is showing
And
Mom
this is the
around.
little store they have.
And this is the Rotary Awards ceremony where Ricardo's getting special awards.
Cool things that they had done in Santa Rosa, building sidewalks, parks for kids.
Here he is in his car.
So a lot
There's
of it was
Bud
for
having a
children.
good time in front of the bimbo, whatever that is. roses.
Beautiful flowers, of course. Everything grows so well there. Goodbye, Santa Rosa. Now we're off to Roatan.
To the coast and then on to Roatan.
Flying to Roatan in a little plane that Mom happened to love. Everybody knows about her love for flight in little prop planes. Here's the island of Roatan. Mom getting off. She's alive. One piece.
That was the scariest plane ride I've ever
Oh,
been
Dad's
on.
mighty and strong. He made it through.
Going right over the ocean, right onto the island.
We're at La Ceiba, drinking chai tea. Milk mustache. Here we are in front of the
Mom
plane.
wiped out, barely able to
Oh,
stand
here
up.
we go. Here we go.
Oh, look at Mom in the background. She looks
Worried for her
excited.
life, how she's ever gonna get to
And
this
we're
island.
still having fun.
Going to the island.
Don's a little bit crazy.
Worrying for the whole family, but it was really smooth as glass getting there.
And here's the
This is
west
the island.
area.
The beautiful sandy beaches.
This is the point. This is our Half Moon Bay.
And coral reefs.
Beautiful Caribbean, of course.
Oh, that poor pilot. I made him so nervous.
Here we are in front of the little airport in Roatan.
It wasn't even finished. You can see they're still tiling the swimming pool. But the ocean was finished and it was beautiful.
Here's the Caribbean.
Warm
Oh, don't it
water.
look pretty in the
No
Caribbean?
waves, just easy
Having fun
water
in the ocean.
for as far as you could see.
Sunny and beautiful all the time. Clear waters, no waves.
All the kids thought that
Just
she
had to
was there.
dance, get in that pretty sunset.
We didn't spend enough time there. We could have spent a longer time.
The sunsets there were gorgeous, of course. In a boat on the clear ocean sunset. The little girls learning to dance
Jenny and her following on
in
the beach.
Roatan. Taught them to do cartwheels and handstands because they don't have that there. Here's the beautiful Caribbean again. This is outside of the Mayan Princess, our hotel. Mom loading up on her sunscreen. Sun's pretty strong there. And I'm having fun again because we're at the beach. And so is Dawn,
There's Bud.
meeting the girls, of course. Oh, and Mom's in the
Uh-oh.
water.
We gotta get
What
this
do you
picture
know?
out of there.
Looks like she's
No
having some
fair.
fun, enjoying herself. Of course we are.
We all enjoyed the island life. The nightlife was particularly fun. The Twisted Toucan and other little bars. Props to the bartender there. She was pretty cool. Half Moon Bay.
We'd been in this place about 3 years before that, 3 or 4 years before it, and been swimming there and snorkeling.
We were the only people on it. Awesome time going around the little bay. And you just see so many fish. Here's a picture
Here
of
we
that.
are inside, underneath, looking out into the beautiful coral. There were many of these fish with these yellow tails.
I got to see all the fish and the coral, the brain coral.
All those
Bigger
really
fish in the
dark
background.
ones, but the other little fluorescent ones.
And
weren't
look at the
that big.
beautiful coral. Divers, scuba divers.
Sean
In
Paul.
the distance.
Nice.
The driver was downstairs with us. We were looking at the coral. Oh, and of course, have to find the kitties. They were stray kitties living at a restaurant down there.
Bananas growing. Yum. And this man gave me mangoes off his tree. I'd been eyeing them.
Had a little food stop at a local grocery store.
Oh, and now I'm enjoying the
Mom's
mango
enjoying
from
her
that guy.
mangoes that she got from the man there. I'm enjoying
Eating cereal.
M&Ms. Having fun back at the Mayan Princess, our hotel.
Here's a coconut getting carved. That was pretty cool.
Don looks excited to have water.
So my
Oh,
sister
he
got
is
that
cutting
over
up a coconut for me. Ah, yes, aren't I happy to be able to be drinking this on the beach? That's a coconut in my hand, and I'm ready to go enjoy it on the beach.
You know what's funny is people really do speak like this song here that we listen to in the background. It's hilarious.
Now I'm going to go get my hair braided.
2 hours of playing with her hair. She comes out a total beauty.
Here I am with my hair finally braided. I was so excited.
There she is,
This is about
Janiqua.
the point where Don started calling me Janiqua. Couldn't believe that I actually got my hair braided.
Those tight braids. They had to put Vaseline in her hair in order to do that.
There's Jenny in the clear water.
And it stayed in her hair for probably a good month
And
afterwards.
here Don's relaxing
There's Bud enjoying the sun.
by a little straw hut, looking out at the beach, the ocean. Here we are in the water. More beautiful sunsets.
Sundown.
And here's a palm tree and a beautiful ocean. Our favorite picture, the beautiful sunset in the background of palm trees.
Towards Honduras.
Notice all the beautiful colors.
Bye-bye.
This is the end. Hope you had fun on our Guatemala, Honduras, and Roatan trip.
Okay, so this was our family vacation in 2003.
After going to Roatan, that's when I went back to Santa Rosa and stayed there with the Dominguez for a while. Bye-bye.